All right, it's that time again. Update 21 is here. That means time to read the patch notes. So, howdy there, Buckaroo. Last month, we mentioned that we had exciting stuff on the way. Now it's time to share what we've been working on. Here are the highlights. Customizable difficulty can now adjust your game's difficulty using three separate aspects: action, map, and community. This lets you tune your experience to better match to better match what you're looking for. I had it right the first time. Open range pack. This new Western-themed content pack includes iconic revolvers, lever-action rifles, and shotguns, a wealth of hats inspired by the old and new West. Access Survivor inventory. You can now access the inventory of anyone in your community just by walking up to them. Hide backpacks. You can now have the option to hide backpacks carried by your community members, letting your carefully chosen outfits take center stage. Facility flexibility. Long duration actions on facilities such as upgrades will no longer block you from performing quick actions such as crafting. So how about you pull up a chair and read on? We think you'll enjoy this one. So, customizable difficulty sliders. Way back in March 2019, we introduced the Dread Nightmare Zone difficulties in the Choose Your Own Apocalypse update. Hard to believe that's like basically a year ago. Then in Update 18, we added the Green Zone, a new calmer challenge for players looking for a different experience but on your wish list, requests, you wanted even more options for fine-tuning the game experience. Message received. This feature represents the next big step in our evolution of player choice and empowerment. Our new difficulty sliders allow you to customize the difficulty levels for three different aspects of your State of K2 experience using the familiar settings: Green, Standard, Dread, and Nightmare Zone for each aspect. Action. Adjust the number and toughness of zombies, the rarity of freaks, the deadliness of hostile humans, the durability of vehicles, and the virulence of the blood plague. So this is the one that's going to have the biggest impact on you because this one alone is what's going to make you feel like whether you're playing in the Nightmare Zone or the Green Zone. Though the others still have some impact. Map makes it easier or harder to scavenge the world to find resources, weapons, items, and vehicles you need to survive and thrive. The slider also decreases the number of plague hearts on the map. So I believe it also affects vehicles. I don't think they mentioned that here, but if you increase the slider for map difficulty, I believe it means fewer vehicles will appear, and the ones that do appear have a much higher chance of being broken and out of fuel. Community. Tweak the challenge of building and maintaining a healthy community. Skills might improve faster or slower. Morale is easier or harder to keep up. And resource costs and influence gains are increased or decreased, among other variables. So, I mean, if you're trying to learn how to play Nightmare Zone, this is probably not a bad way to kind of experience parts of it. Experience what the community aspect is. Experience what it's like to, play on a map that has Nightmare Zone scarcity and so forth. So that could be a way for you to ease yourself in the Nightmare Zone if that's what you're trying to do. With the difficulty sliders, you can fine-tune your difficulty settings to find just the right recipe for your taste. For example, if you prefer a quiet, desolated wasteland, you can turn up the difficulty on the map slider and turn down the difficulty on the action slider. If you like your combat extra bloody, but you don't want to stress over scavenging and community management, crank action all the way to Nightmare, and then set your other sliders to Standard or Green. With 64 different combinations to choose from, we think you'll enjoy customizing your game experience in just the right way for you. This feature has some impact on other areas of the game. Achievements. Any achievements that was previously tied to a single overall difficulty zone is now tied to the minimum difficulty set across all your sliders. For example, to earn the True Grit achievement with a mixed set of difficulties, as long as all three sliders are on Dread or higher. So what this means is you need to at least have everything on Dread, but you could have some of them on Nightmare Zone and some of them on Dread Zone, but in order to qualify, they must at least be on Dread Zone. Multiplayer. Difficulty sliders can only be changed during a single-player session. When a client joins your multiplayer session, they will receive a notification of the game's action slider session. So that's the one we didn't know, that you cannot change things unless you're in the single player. That's interesting. Map changes. Changing your action or community slider will not require you to relocate to a new map. Only a change to your map slider will force your community to a new version of the map. So changing as it says here, action and difficulty, you just have to go through a loading screen, but you will reappear where you were with your community intact and everything. But if you change the map, it's going to have to repopulate the map and change the way building scarcity works. So that will require a complete reset, which will uninstall all of your stuff and send you back to the tutorial home. Keen Eye players notice that there's a 5th unnamed difficulty level that's teased on the difficulty screen. It's too early to talk about in detail about this upcoming edition, but from its position to the right of Nightmare Zone, you might be able to guess that it's aimed at players who want even more chaos and carnage in their apocalypse. I have a hunch that it's going to be basically Heartland Zone. I think they're going to move the Blood Plague zombies from Heartland into the main game. The Open Range beckons. This month's update features the Open Range pack, a huge content pack that includes 11 guns, 4 melee weapons, 12 outfits, 10 hats, and new throwable explosive. As you can probably tell by the pack's name, the theme of this new content is the American West, but not just the Old West. This pack blends the old and the new to create a collection that spans eras. You could put on your black cattleman hat and head into town with one of our model 1875 revolvers on your hip, just like a classic gunner. Or you can don your denim ranch hand jacket and a western straw hat before grabbing a branding iron and reloading your modern Duval Outrider lever action rifle to head back out to the back 40. It's your fantasy, so have some fun. As always, several of these new items and outfits are available by completing the appropriate bounty from the bounty broker. Got the Model 1875 Scarifo, an elegant modern replica of the hard-hitting 44 caliber revolver from the Old West. Got the Mare's Leg. You've seen this iconic short-barreled shotgun on TV and movies since the 50s, and now it can be yours. The Model 92 rifle. This lever-action 44 caliber rifle is a brass-clad veteran of conflicts long past. Sawed off 1887, cut-down version of the infamous buckshot dispenser, useful as a zombie-killing room sweeper. The scoped Big Hank rifle, the classic 35 caliber lever-action rifle, adds a modern optic for accurate long-range shots. The black Sherpa suede vest lets you stay warm and keeps you cool at the same time. Snakeskin Western straw hat. This slick, shiny hat will be the envy of all your friends. I don't remember them talking about this one. I don't think they showed that during the stream. Big Daddy Skillet. It's not just the biggest frying pan you've ever seen. It's also great for clonking zombies. Bundle of Dynamite. The first new throwable explosive added since 2018's Daybreak pack. It features a fuse that's just long enough to draw in the Zeds before it goes boom. The remaining guns and weapons outfits can all be found by scavenging. In other words, some of the guns are bounty exclusives and some of the guns are looting exclusives. I believe looting exclusives are available all year round, and I believe when the bounty pack disappears, I think you will still be able to find them as loot, but not the ones that are bounty exclusives. This content pack includes many highly requested ideas, so thanks for the suggestions. Riding into the sunset. The arrival of the Open Range pack means we must say farewell for now to the Anniversary pack. You keep anything you already own, but you can't acquire more items from retired packs. In addition, the limited time Bloodmobile vehicle has been removed, of course. In a world where corpses walk, nothing stays gone for long. Coming soon. As the days grow shorter, the nights grow longer, our thoughts inevitably return to creepy things that lurk in the dark, which makes next month perfect for the return of the Fearsome Footage pack, last seen in March of this year. This pack is full of weapons and outfits that thrill and chill, many inspired by the terrors of the silver screen. All the previous bounties associated with this pack will be reset, giving you the opportunity to earn these rewards, plus extra influence if you were around to complete them the first time the pack was in circulation. To make room for the returning pack, Plunder Pack will be retired next update. There are some really good items in the Plunder Pack. When I review the Wild Wild West pack, I will also re-review the Plunder Pack. So, yeah, there's some you're going to want to pick up before it goes away if you haven't. So you better complete those bounties soon. Additional updates. In addition to the highlights described above, here's a look at what else has been improved or fixed. When relevant, we've included links to the wish list, suggestions that helped guide us to the issue. If you'd like to contribute ideas on how to improve the game, visit support.stateofdecay.com, click on the wishlist feature, and learn more. That's actually where I am right now. These patch notes are on their support page. Inventory management. From the wishlist, you can now manage the inventory of your community members without taking control of them. Just walk up, talk to them, and you'll see a new option to access Survivor inventory. This opens their inventory. With your inventory also available on a tab, select an item in one inventory will push it to the other, letting you freely swap items back and forth. This means that while you're out scavenging, you can easily use your follower as a pack mule to help you carry more, While exploring the other survivors' inventory, you can also use and equip items for them, just like from your own inventory, so you can basically force them to use a healing item or activate scent block, for example. This means that you can activate a healing consumable within another survivor's inventory to heal them in the field. Note that this replaces the former option to pass a rucksack to another character, so that is now one of the many things that you could do with this feature. So the passing the rucksack has been baked into this feature, so don't worry, it's still there. From the wishlist, you now have the option to hide your backpacks from survivors. This allows you to see things like the patterns on the backs of their jackets and avoid the scenario where every character with a decent-sized backpack looks like they're about to climb Mount Everest. You can find the option on the settings screen in the gameplay section as hide character backpacks. Difficulty tuning. Hostile humans have received a balance pass to offer a fair experience on higher difficulty, so this I don't think this will have any impact on people who are playing on standard and green zone, and maybe not even on dread zone. I don't think dread zone humans are able to score headshots, for example. They no longer kill a player who isn't fighting for life. If you're not sure what fighting for life is, that's when you run out of hit points, but you're not dead, and you gotta, like, mash the button to get back up. So basically, they have to down you into the fight for life or last stand mode before they're allowed to kill you, even if they score a headshot. Using consumables to stay in the fight will mean you are going to survive at least one more hit. The damage dealt to a hostile human by a headshot is now more consistent. There is now a minimum headshot damage received by hostiles in Dread and Nightmare Zone, so that even if you're using a suppressed 22 caliber pistol, the number of headshots needed to take them down should be more reasonable. It should still take a lot of body shots using low caliber suppressed weapons. We haven't changed that. Hostiles that have exceptionally high chance to miss their first 1 to 4 shots before they get on target, with that chance disappearing on higher difficulties. I'm guessing on high difficulties, they're only going to miss like 1 shot, just to kind of let you know, hey, I'm shooting at you. They also have massively reduced accuracy at long range. They're not saying it here, but I believe they said 60 meters is where the massive accuracy reduction is going to take place. The amount of influence you earn from killing zombies now declines as you move the community slider into the Dread and Nightmare setting. It used to escalate as the difficulty rose, leading to massive over-earnings in Nightmare when combined with the high zombie population. So I actually recorded my episode already for doing the new bounties, and when I killed a feral, I got 10 influence, down from 50, and when I killed a blood plague Juggernaut, I got 20 influence, down from 100. So the reduction on Nightmare Zone is significant. If you still want the influence bonanza, you used to be able to get on Nightmare by killing so many zombies. Try playing with community at standard and action on Nightmare. This is now a smooth ramp. There is now a smooth ramp of Plague Guard population across the different notches of the map slider, starting low at green and getting steadily higher as you progress to Nightmare. I think it's something like 4 to 6 on green and something like 18-ish. Like 16 to 18-ish on Nightmare Zone. It kind of goes by 2s. The baseline morale, it goes by 2s or 4s. The baseline morale penalty for all survivors now gets worse as you shift your community slider from Dread to Nightmare, increasing from 10 to 15 morale. The penalty used to be minus 10 for both. And what that means is, in Dread and Nightmare Zone, you used to get a minus 10 morale per community member penalty. Now, Dread keeps the minus 10 and Nightmare gets a minus 15, so I guess question mark Zone will get minus 20. That's an assumption I'm making there. Blood Plague Juggernauts now continue to spawn even after all Plague Guards are defeated when the action slider is set to Nightmare Zone. This was already true for Dread for some reason. I'm pretty sure that this is odd because Blood Plague Juggernauts did continue to spawn after killing all the Plague Guards in Nightmare Zone, and I've had multiple people in the community confirm that, so I know I'm not crazy. Plague Guard's loot is now consistent across all difficulties, granting 3 to 6 plague samples and what were formerly considered nightmare level items. So yeah, in Nightmare Zone, when you killed a Plague Guard, it was like a big old treasure chest. You got like a ton of stuff from it, but it was specifically a Nightmare Zone thing. Now, that's going to stay in Nightmare Zone, but it's also going to be applied to the lower difficulties. So everyone should get quite a ton of stuff from killing the Plague Guards, which means Plague Guards are kind of a good thing because of how much stuff they give you if you can destroy them efficiently. Gameplay tuning. An ambient enclaves should now offer a wider array of items for trade and offer more useful gear such as suppressors, mid-tier weapons, firearms, gas cans, repair kits, facility mods, and some quirky things like box mines. So they already did give out gas cans and repair kits, but Suppressors? No, they didn't have that. Mid-tier weapons? It depends on, I guess, what you consider mid-tier. Facility mods? I don't remember them ever selling that, so that's definitely new. And then some quirky things like box mines. That's kind of cool. It's definitely going to make trading even more important in the game, especially on Nightmare Zone, where the influence for zombie kills has decreased. I think trading is going to become even more important. This has been applied primarily to the randomly generated enclaves, such as the ones you could summon over the radio. What they mean here is that the thematic enclaves that are like really specific, like the brewing guys, the medics, the mechanics, it should not affect them. The chance to knock down a zombie from the first shot when firing a weapon chambered in 44 caliber Magnum is now up to 60%. Is now at 60%, up from 30%. We adjusted collision on vehicles with snowplows attached to the front to make them less likely to get caught on obstacles like guardrails. User experience improvements. Long duration actions on facilities like upgrades no longer block you from performing quick actions like crafting. So if you were like upgrading your workshop from level 1 to 2, you wouldn't be able to like build stuff, like build like firecrackers or anything like that while it was upgrading, which was a frustration, but now that's gone. You should be able to do that now, which is nice. Now, when you accept a mission in dialogue, the game automatically pins as your current mission in the HUD rather than requiring you to hunt it down and manually press it on the map screen. When you move your community to a random map, the game will no longer drop you into the same map you just left a quarter of the time. You always end up somewhere new. So random map never takes you to the same place anymore. It will never randomly do that. The most essential missions for recruiting survivors, the ones that create new enclaves and progress your relationships, have been moved to their own category under the hood. To prevent them being held up by other missions, that means missions that lead towards allies and recruits should appear more often. The typical number of missions on the map screen at any given time may go up slightly. What you're talking about here is that there are certain quest chains that are like kind of invasive, where once you get them, they would block these kinds of ally missions, and you basically would not be able to get any more. The game wouldn't generate any until you get through that invasive quest line. But now that shouldn't be the case. All container icons are now visible through the wall sites that you own, but you have not fully scavenged. Previously, this feature only applied to unclaimed sites, so basically they're extending that scouting vision, the ability to see loot through walls in the building. They're extending that to outposts now. Player characters are now less sensitive to doors while sprinting, so you're less likely to suddenly bash your way into a building that you intended to run right past. Bounties that formerly stated that you need to kill enemies from stealth now more accurately describe the requirement as while crouched. Red Tail Officer's Quarters now counts as a latrine for your survivors with digestive problems. Please feel free to imagine how that plays out any way you like. Well, I mean, it actually has a... If you build a Red Tail in Officer's Quarters and visit it, you will actually see there is a physical toilet in it. So, I mean, I guess they will bend down and take a massive dump in it. That would be the way I would imagine it. Broken achievements. We learned that certain subset of our achievements were not firing for many players, so we investigated and corrected the issues. The following achievements were known to exhibit this problem. Sayonara, which is get a character killed. Heart of Darkness, kill a plague guard. These Dreams, destroy 5 plague guards. Total Eclipse, clear out all the plague guards. Barley and Spoiled Blueberries, kill a bloater. Be Still My Dog of War, beat the game as the warlord. I Am the Law, beat the game as the sheriff. Speedy Delivery, beat the game as the trader. If you build it, they will come, beat the game as the builder. The game is afoot, accept a bounty, collect a bounty collector, complete 5 bounties, collect them all, complete 25 bounties. It looks good on you, though. Unlock an outfit via the bounty broker. After our fix, you should receive retroactive credit for nearly all the above achievements if you were one of the players who missed out. There are only 2 exceptions that we couldn't support this way. Barley and Spoiled Blueberries, keep an eye out for basically these ones will not retroactively unlock. Barley and Spoiled Blueberries for killing 1 bloater, and Sayonara, which means getting one of your characters killed. Retroactively unlock just means that once the patch hits, you should log in, and any of these you don't have, but you qualified for them, they'll just unlock. Miscellaneous bug fixes. We made several minor mission fixes, correcting typos, misleading icons, and small bugs. We also made several minor map fixes, correcting missing markup and missing containers. We fixed an incorrect icon on the Choose Your Leader screen. We fixed an area in Drucker County where you could submerge yourself completely underwater and stand there like some kind of crab person. We fixed a problem that could cause a non-player to run forever into the edge of a high platform. Fixed a bug where that could cause certain rare characters to spawn without a close combat weapon. We fixed some audio on the saw blade sword for when you attack a plague heart while exhausted. Smoke can no longer render heavy weapons ineffective against zombies. That's a funny one. So apparently smoke grenades were making heavy weapons miss. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, there you go. One thing you should know, and hopefully, you know, maybe if you're listening to this a week later, hopefully this is what I'm going to talk about doesn't apply, but when I got in day one, my community was like totally dilapidated. I lost all my boons in the Nightmare Zone. I lost all my outposts. And then when I reset the map to try to get them back, I lost all my Red Talon prefab units. Like, I lost all of them, even the ones that were not currently built, which really stank. I was like, wow, I'm hoping I'll get them back, but until you hear about the hotfix, maybe don't change maps. Maybe don't, you know, if you have prefabs, Red Talon prefabs, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to, like, leave your stuff where it is. That might be a good idea. But, yeah, it's definitely a concern. I'm hoping for a fix pretty soon. Anyways, that's what you want to know about Update 21. Hopefully they fix that stuff soon. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you approve of the direction they're going? You know, are you going to, are these any of these bounty broker items you're interested in? Are you going to hide your backpack? You know, tell me which of these things are you interested in using. But at any rate, that is that. Like this video was informative. Subscribe for future. Stay Decay 2 kind. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.